Now let's get into Japheth or Japheth, because there is a prophecy here talking about Japheth shall dwell in the tents of Shem. And it's very important to take stock of this. And here we're going to go into Genesis 10 in the book of Yahweh. Number 1. Now these are the begettings of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Yavan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiraz. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. The sons of Yavan were Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. From these the coastland Gentile peoples were separated into their lands, everyone according to his own language, according to their families, into their nations. So we see that Noah's sons are born unto Noah, and specifically in the line of Japheth, or Japheth, their sons were born to him. And notice that everybody that comes from Japheth occupies the coastland. These are where the Gentile peoples are separated into their lands. So if you are a descendant of, let's say, Japheth, most of the European nations, or if not all of them, are descended from Japheth, specifically Ashkenaz. So let's go back into chapter 9. Let's get some context. We're going to look into the Amplified Bible. Let's read it real quick to get some context. Number 1, Genesis 9:1. And the Most High blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. The fear and the terror of you shall be instinctive in every animal of the land and in every bird of the air, and together with everything that moves on the ground, and with all the fish of the sea, they are given into your hand. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. I give you everything, as I gave you the green plants and vegetables. But you shall not eat meat along with its life, that is, its blood. And this is part of the covenant that Moses gave to the children of Israel. They were never to eat or consume any meat that has blood in it. And here we see the Most High reestablishing that covenant with Noah. For number 5, for your lifeblood, I will most certainly require an accounting. From every animal that kills a person, I will require it. And from every man's brother, that is, everyone who murders, I will require the life of man. An eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. 6, whoever sheds man's blood unlawfully by man, judicial government, shall his blood be shed. For in the image of the Most High he made man. As for you, be fruitful and multiply. Populate the earth abundantly and multiply in it. So the Most High is giving Noah a commandment to repopulate the earth, because remember, the flood has just occurred and the waters are receding or has receded. Number 8, then Yahweh spoke to Noah and to his son with him, saying, Now behold, I am establishing my covenant, which is a binding agreement and also a solemn promise, with you and your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the livestock, and the wild animals of the earth along with you, of everything that comes out of the ark, every living creature of the earth. I will establish my covenant with you. Never again shall all flesh be cut off by the water of a flood, nor shall there ever again be a flood to destroy and ruin the earth. And Yahweh said, This is the token, or visible symbol, or memorial, of solemn covenant which I am making between me and you and every living creature that is with you, for all future generations. I set my rainbow in the clouds, and it shall be a sign of a covenant between me and the earth. When we see and we look at the rainbow in the cloud, it represents that covenant between the Most High and his people, not to be redecorated into meaning something else. The Most High is telling you what that means right here, that rainbow. It shall come to 14, it shall come about when I bring clouds over the earth, that the rainbow shall be seen in the clouds, and I will compassionately remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And never again will the water become a flood to destroy all flesh. When the rainbow is in the clouds, and I look at it, I will solemnly remember the everlasting covenant between Yahweh and every living creature of all flesh that is on earth. And Yahweh said to Noah, this rainbow is the sign of the covenant, solemn pledge, binding agreement, which I have established between me and all living things on the earth. It's interesting to notice the amount of time the Most High says the covenant. It's not just a passing or a simple word that you use commonly. He's emphasizing this is a covenant. This is an everlasting covenant. So, meaning it will never change, and nothing mankind does can alter that covenant. Number 18. The sons of Noah who came out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Ham would become the father of Canaan. These are the 3 sons of Noah, and from these men the whole earth was populated and scattered with inhabitants. So we see a repopulating of the earth after Adam. And from these 3 sons come all nations that we have today, according to the passage here. 20. And Noah began to farm and cultivate the ground, and he planted a vineyard. He drank some of the wine and became drunk, and he was uncovered and lay exposed inside his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw by accident the nakedness of his father, and to his father's shame told his 2 brothers outside. So Shem and Japheth took a robe, put it on both their shoulders, and walked backward and covered the nakedness of their father. Their faces were turned away so that they did not see their father's nakedness. When Noah awoke from his wine, or induced stupor, he knew what his younger son Ham had done to him. So there's a lot of talk around here, and one channel I want you guys to check out is Dante Forston. I have some of his videos here in the document. He really breaks this part down. But what we do know is there's a lot that occurred here. There's a lot of additions and taken away from the translations over the years. So it's hard to really pinpoint what occurred. But whatever occurred here was so profound that Noah says the following: Cursed be Canaan, the son of Ham. A servant of servants he shall be to his brothers. So Canaan is going to be a slave of slaves, or servant of servants. Then he says, Blessed be the Most High, the father of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. So here we see Shem is going to be a servant, because if Canaan is going to be the servant of Shem, that means Shem is also a servant, based on what Noah first said, because Canaan will be a servant of servants. So Canaan must serve a servant, which is Shem here. And look, here comes the curse on Japheth. And may the Father enlarge the land of Japheth, and let him dwell in the tents of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. So Shem here now is a sort of slave here. He takes on an identity that's not his. He's dwelling in the tents of somebody else. When you dwell in the tents or the house of somebody else, you dwell in their place, you take on, whatever is theirs becomes yours. Now listen, Noah lived 350 years after the flood, so all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Right? So very interesting to see that there, because many people read over that, they gloss over it, never paying much attention to those words. Notice all the sons of Japheth, and one of them were Ashkenaz. And we know that modern day Jews living in Israel today trace their lineage to Ashkenaz, as shown on the map below, which includes European countries. Now, this is a map. It's the world as known to the Hebrews according to the Mosaic account. Here we have the European nations. We have Japheth, if you can kind of see that there. Japheth. We have the Black Sea. We have Gomer. Remember one of the sons of Japheth? The Crimeans. This is the Caucasus Mountains. We have Magog, like we have Gog and Magog that come to fight against the Most High when he returns. Here we have Shem, where they dispersed into. And then we have here in yellow in the land of Egypt, Nubia, Seba, Ham. These are where these three brothers, they spread out into the world. And as I said before, most of the Israelites, or Israel, modern day Jews, trace their lineage here. We know most of them are Europeans, or all of them are European descent. They're converts. Now, this letter, this map, you can get if you go to the Blue Letter Bible. They have a map there. About half of Jewish people around the world today identify as Ashkenazi, meaning that they descend from Jews who lived in Central or Eastern Europe. The term was initially used to define a distinct cultural group of Jews who settled in the 10th century in the Rhineland in Western Germany. I'm not saying this. This comes straight from Harvard Medical School. And you can go to the article right here, right? The largest study to date of ancient DNA from Jewish individuals reveals unexpected genetic subgroups in medieval German Ashkenazi Jews and shed light on the founder event in which a small population gave rise to the most present-day Ashkenazi Jews. The findings, spearheaded by geneticists from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem and Harvard Medical School. You guys can go around and go in and dig in deep further. But the crux of the thing is most Jews today have their lineage from Japheth. It's just a fact, right? Genesis 10:21. And sons and daughters were also born to Shem. Notice who Shem is, the father of all the children of the Hebrews. And we know that Abraham comes from the line of Shem, Eber. It's not listed that Abraham comes from Japheth. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tirah. The sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Riphath, Togarmah, and so forth. Notice, Shem, also to Shem, the father of all the children of Eber, including the Hebrews. The older brother of Japheth. Children were born, the sons of Shem, Elam, Ashur, Arpachshad, Lud, Aram. The sons of Aram, ancestor of Syrians, Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mash. Arpachshad became the father of Shelah, and Shelah became the father of Eber. 2 sons were born to Eber. The name of one was Peleg, division, for the inhabitants of the earth were divided in his days, and his brother's name was Joktan. Joktan became the father of Almodad, Sheleph, Hazarmaveth, Jerah, and Hadoram. Uzal, Dikla, and Obal, Abimael, Sheba, and Ophir, Havaliah, and Jobab. These are tough names. Okay. Now, we know that Abraham does not come from Japheth. He comes from Shem. Notice, Abraham came from the lineage of Shem and not Japheth or Japheth. It was to Abraham and his biological descendants the promise was made by Yahweh. For the modern day Jews to be the actual descendants of Abraham, they must have come from the lineage of Shem, and they must have a history of being enslaved in a foreign land 400 years, according to what the Most High told Abraham. Know for certainty that your descendants will be enslaved in a land not their own for 400 years, is what he told him. We don't see that from the line of Shem. That's a fact. Make it make sense, because if they're claiming that this belongs to them, well, we don't see that history in the Jews today. History says they fled Nazi Germany. So if they're claiming this, that means then they're about to go into a 400-year slavery at some point. There's no escaping. You can't take the blessings for yourself and escape the consequences of breaking the law. So which is it? Okay. Again, Genesis 15:13-14. Then he said to Abraham, know certainly that your descendants will be strangers in a land not their own, and they will be enslaved, and they will afflict them 400 years. But the nation enslaving them will I judge. And afterward they, the people that have been led captive, will come out with great possessions. There is no two ways around it. How did the children of Israel travel from Jerusalem to the four corners of the earth? Throughout the scriptures, we see a repeated pattern. The people, led by the priests and rulers, rejected Yahweh and his laws. Because of this rebellion, our forefathers were given into captivity, just as Yahweh warned in the covenant. From the beginning, the children of Israel experienced cycles of disobedience, judgment, exile, and survival. The first major captivity occurred in Egypt. Though invited by Joseph, the people later became enslaved under Pharaoh, until Yahweh delivered them through Moshe in the Exodus. The Assyrian captivity followed in 722 BCE, when the northern kingdom of Israel was conquered and scattered through the Assyrian Empire. These tribes became known as the lost tribes of Israel. The Babylonian captivity came next. In 586 BCE, Jerusalem and the temple were destroyed, and many of Judah were taken to Babylon. Though some returned under Persian rule, many never came back to the land. During the Persian period, Israel remained scattered across the empire. Communities existed far from Jerusalem, as seen in the days of Esther. Finally, under Roman rule, Jerusalem was destroyed again. Greater dispersal. This marked a massive scattering of Israel